Welcome back to another episode of Humans for Humanity. Some people wake up through books or teachers, others just start remembering little things, old feelings, a sense that they've been here before, that nothing is really new, just waiting to be seen again. This is Humans for Humanity, not a performance of remembering, a space for the ones who always felt like they were speaking a language no one else could hear. For those who know that spirit isn't out there, it's right here, always has been. And today we're joined by Briana. She's a psychic medium, but what really sets her apart is how she makes it all feel normal, because to her, it is normal. Talking to spirit, reading energy, feeling the past, the present, and the future like they're all layered on top of each other. She doesn't treat this like a performance. She treats it like a conversation we've always been meant to have. Right now, what's alive for her is her connection to her inner child, not just to heal her, but to walk with her, to realize that younger version of herself still holds wisdom she needs now. That sometimes healing is about remembering, not fixing. This conversation isn't about being psychic, it's about being real, being spirit and human at the same time, and letting that be enough. This is the reckoning of the child who never left. Let's begin. Thank you so much, Briana, for being here today. So
Thank you for
excited to
having
have you.
me. I'm excited too.
This is gonna be a deep one. I can feel it because your connection is very fluid, and I think that that's kind of where I want to start here. Oh, the tower in reverse. Tower's like, I'm coming out. Okay, okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Because spirit is so fluid for you, talk about how to separate the way that you view it and understand that other people have a limiting belief on it, but that doesn't have to be something you embody.
That's a great question. And I think it's funny because we all perceive everything so differently. And you speak about how I'm so fluid with spirit, but it's almost one of my insecurities. I feel like I'm not as fluid as a lot of other readers. Like you are incredibly fluid, and it's just like you blow my mind. But you perceiving me that way, I think that's kind of interesting in a sense that we all have these different perceptions, and that it's all based and rooted in our lived experiences and our trauma. And I'm here really just to help widen perspective. um I lost the question a little bit.
It's
um
it's interesting because as soon as you said wide in perspective, a car drove right past me.
um
The chariot. You are widening perspective.
mm, I love that you noticed that too. Did I even answer the question?
You did. You
Okay,
absolutely did.
okay,
No,
okay,
you
honestly, like
absolutely did.
okay.
It's funny because it's like you're like, I don't see myself as that fluid, and then as soon as you said something about expanding, spirit's like, "Here's a car." And this is, like, the first time that my window's ever been visible in one of the podcasts,
Yeah, it's
so
like it's a different setting, and I love it so
yeah.
much. And I'm never in this spot either, honestly. And so I love that.
It's so funny. Okay, I love that. Okay, perfect. Talk about because there is that, I hope that I'm being fluid. I'm trying my best to be fluid. I'm trying my best to understand. Talk about trusting yourself in that regard, knowing that what is coming through you is what needs to come through you at the time, even if it might not make sense to you.
That has taken time, to be completely honest. That has taken time, and that is one of the biggest hurdles that I've had to consistently, honestly, kind of face here, is the trusting, because we don't necessarily get a lot of physical validation, and but over time I have realized, especially because my claircognizance is a lot stronger than I think it is, because sometimes it'll just come right out of me, and it'll be exactly what they need to hear, exactly, if it's a mediumship or whatever it is. It's just like, wait, what did you just say? And I'm like, I don't know, what did I just say? And so it really is about, of course.
That's so funny. No, hold on. Spirit is so strong in this. And I'm so leaving that part in because you said, what did you say? Sometimes you don't even know what you said, but you say the right thing, and spirit's like, "Hold on, let me show you." It's like a real we just got a visual. We just got a visual of inside your head. That was so fun.
That's it. That's literally it. And now I have no idea what I was saying, but
I don't
period,
I
spirit.
think you answered it. Spirit's like, "That's it, let me show you." You don't need to answer with words, we'll draw you a picture.
Exactly.
Which okay, so
Mhm,
that brings me into the next question then.
mhm,
No words, nothing solid, just feeling. You say
mhm.
clear cognizance. So talk about how feelings translate to messages for you.
Oof. And that's also been hard, an obstacle that I've had to overcome and really train my brain to step aside to feel. But then that's where the balance comes in and translating, using, my brain and my lived experiences to translate the feeling. And physically they'll give me feelings too, honestly, like if I it's a little twinge in the stomach or the heart or like whatever it is, right side, left side, spirit, masculine, feminine. And so really tuning into my body has been big here recently as well. But when it comes to feeling and translating those messages, it truly is centering. And a lot of times, spirit will, like you said, paint me a picture, but a past memory of mine, like Christmas, something of that nature, where old me, it was incredibly triggering and hard. New me, I love it. I understand this family and its safety and its gratitude and I just got full body chills too. That's a deep one for me. Um, but it really is. I don't even know how to describe that. It is, I mean, how does Christmas morning feel to you? I mean, it's, what I'm saying? Like, that's what spirit gives to me in many, many different ways. Um, and then again, sometimes I just have to kind of let go of my brain and then just let it kind of flow out of me. And a lot of times that's why like I rock back and forth or I'll close my eyes, touch here so I can really connect to the feeling and not let my brain get in there too much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. That's this to the T. You had to find the value in feeling and not view it as a distraction from the message, but view it as the message.
Exact That's literally, see, you are literally you're so good. You're so good. That's exactly
Thank
what
you.
it is. And like my mentor, she always told me like it starts with a feeling first, but my brain wants to go immediately to what am I seeing in my mind's eye? What am I hearing? But it starts with the feeling and then it expands outward from there. And if you start there, the rest kind of unfolds seamlessly. Yeah.
Right, yeah. I saw a quote the other day and it said, your brain is like the foundation of your magic, but the heart is the fuel." Okay, so talk about how you celebrate now what felt like a very dark time before, not because you're celebrating the time, but because you're celebrating how you handled it.
Um, the first thing that comes to me right now is really having to do with like the inner child. And I've been really in a state of being grateful and honoring all phases of me and all the obstacles and all the hardships and the very, very painful ones. Like I grew up without a mother. She left when I was a baby. And I recently was going through some sessions with a friend of mine and he wanted me to bring my mother into like a meditation. And I'm like, absolutely not into this sacred space. It's very unhealthy. But and I did that. And I've been able to honor the pain and the why the F did that happen? How could that happen? And like the ripple effects it's had on my life. And really by honoring it and understanding that I wouldn't be here without that. I know that sounds so beyond cheesy. But I really do now celebrate it and honor it and cherish it um, for where it's brought me. And helping connect to other people that have also gone through that. So it's like it's honestly like having to celebrate those moments of obstacles and pain so that I can do what I do today. If I grew up not having any kind of obstacle, I wouldn't be helping anybody. I mean, I would have no experience in the tough nature of the world.
Right, right. And I always find it difficult in the field that we're in when there is a mother wound present, because in my opinion, the mother wound, it makes you feel like you have to convince the world that you are just who you say you are. So in our field, when it's not tangible and we're like, this is it, but there I'm not giving you something tangible, I'm giving you feelings, I'm giving you direction, I'm giving you something that you can't see, it kinda triggers it's harder because it triggers that,
Mhm.
"But I need to prove it, I need to show you I
Yes.
am."
Exactly, which is so funny, and right before you started that, my ear started ringing, like, really, really loud, and then that I've been singing the song, I don't even know what it is, but is "I am whoever I say I am." It's something like that. It's been on loop all morning, I'm like, "I don't even know what song that is," and then
That's,
you just said,
it's Eminem, right? "I am."
"I am." I think so,
If
yeah.
I wasn't, then why would I say I am? That's great, and now the car just drove towards us instead of
What odd spirits.
right. Oh my look, an adventure, okay. An
Mhm.
adventure okay. Okay. Talk about something talk about something within the process of you finally saying, sometimes family is the one that we create for ourselves, and
Mhm.
that is enough.
That is loaded. Um, yeah, and it's funny because I recently just had that conversation with some of my closest friends, um, and how I always wished I had like this big family, because it was only my dad, my nana, my sister, and myself, and I always wanted this big family, especially when I had my own family, my daughter, and then I came to realize literally just recently the epiphany that I've had that she has like her aunt Gina, Danielle, and Kara, and like all these people, and it's so it almost makes me feel as if it's part of this like deconstructing of everything like you believe to be true and like society tells you. You know what I'm saying? Like having to unlearn everything and rebuild your life because blood doesn't make anyone family, and I've had multiple mother figures throughout my entire life that were far more a mother to me than my own, and had I been like, well, she's not blood, she can't be my mother, I would have been rejecting so much love and support that I needed as a little girl and as an adult. But now that I can just view people as soul family, it feels a lot less lonely.
Right,
Yeah.
right. It's almost like all the other mother figures gave you a piece of this puzzle that, you had to figure out how to put together by yourself.
Yeah.
Talk about the process of allowing yourself to be in your feminine when you didn't necessarily have the example of how to do that. Like, these are the pieces that you got from all the other mother figures. It's like they were giving you almost like the stepping stones to go from being in masculine survival mode to the path where masculine and feminine meet.
Mhm. Um, the beautiful thing is, while I didn't have my mother, don't cry, I did have my nana. And she is the fiercest woman anyone will ever meet or know, like she was it. So she taught me a lot. She did. There's still a lot of wounds around. I was in my masculine for so long, and until I went into my spiritual awakening, I didn't even still, I still don't realize when I'm masculine because it's a protecting, thing as well. Um, and again with this proving thing that you said, but through the pieces of all the different, mother figures that I've had through my nana, um, and this sense of just connecting back to who I am and where I come from, and I am a part of her. And although my mother is who she is to her core without all the demons, a beautiful woman, and I am also that. And so when I let go, detach from the ego part of it, the pain part of it, and just go back to like who I am and all these examples that have been in front of me, um, it makes it a lot more empowering. And then obviously with the people like you and my friends and everything that I have around that are in like their divine feminine, it makes it a little bit easier to safely express that without feeling vulnerable or weak or anything of that nature. And also, honestly, like throughout understanding the feminine energy in general, understanding how powerful it actually is, has made me feel more open to embodying that and presenting it at the forefront instead of keeping it back here.
Right. Yeah, that was really good. Thank you for that. That was really good. Let's talk about that because the feminine is viewed as almost secondary,
Mhm.
and the feminine is the portal into the place that we're at. So, let's talk about not King of Swords in reverse.
Absolutely.
What would you say to the statement of a woman whose heart and mind is balanced is a woman who is unstoppable?
I would say period. 100% done. That is fact. That is fact. That is true power. That is true power. That is unstoppable. When I can discern between this and this, and at the same time combine this and this, unstoppable. And the flow and the creativity and the mama bear protectiveness, and also in the soft nurturing. I mean, that is, I have full body chills. That is power, and that is unstoppable in my belief.
Right. So being someone who is now in a family that you built for yourself, what would you say to the statement? Oh, that okay, that's exactly where I was going. Oh my god. Okay. What would you say to this statement of when you find the right partner, you will know because that partner will not cause you to be out of your feminine?
That was hard. That was hard, and I really do have a lot of gratitude to my partner for, one, helping me soften up and trust, and two, for even recently we've had that kind of conversation to where he said, like, he was proud of me for allowing him in, you know. Um it is it didn't happen overnight. It took a lot of time, and it took, honestly, the universe. And like, he came into my life a month before my nana passed. And I even said my entire life, I don't want to be in a relationship. And I was like never in relationships ever. But I don't want to be in one when my nana passes, because then I will feel like I need that person. It'll be my crutch. And I don't want to be in that position. And he came in the month before, and he was actually the only one that my nana ever met of anybody I ever dated or anything. And he came to Ohio with me after like 2 weeks of knowing each other. And um and then she passed. And it's beautiful because he wasn't a crutch. He was just my support, you know
Mm,
um and he continues to be so. But it takes work. It takes a little bit of back and forth, and realizing when I am in my ego, and him maybe calling me out a little bit and being like, "Will you let me in?" And be like, "I don't want to," but ultimately I do. It's just, it takes time, but it also takes trust and self. Like, I always see the bird and the branch. We don't worry about the branch breaking and falling. We have wings. Whatever comes in and out of my life, I'm good either way. And I feel like when you have that kind of foundation, it's bound to, whatever it may be, love, friends, work, it's bound to bloom.
right. It's love out of nurtured soil and not out of necessity.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Do you mind if we get one card from your grandma?
Oh my God, absolutely.
Pick a number 1 to 8.
3.
Stand by me. She sent him in. Stand by Me by Ben E. King. Industry construction. I knew you were gonna need help rebuilding. I sent him in. You said 3?
Mhm.
If you She's funny. If you only knew how many signs I've been sending. She's like, "I tried to tell you this." And it's 2 of pentacles. It's that balance. I sent someone in to help you rebuild, help you do the I sent someone in to help you be in your feminine and hold space for you while you rebuilt.
Yeah. And it's interesting you said like the reconstruction and stuff. And I actually was in a kind of construction remediation job that was incredibly toxic for me. It was horrible. And he was the only reason that he's like, you can't do this anymore. And it was right after my Nana passed. And it was just like, even when she was here, and especially since she's been gone, it's just like the way that she has orchestrated stuff for me. And I finally was able to leave that job. And that's when I had to really allow him to help me. Having people help me, I rather I'd rather not. I'd rather be crushed by the weight of the world. But it's insane just how that validation that you just gave me with
I'll tell you how I know that your grandma lined this up because the job that I had immediately before going into my career now,
Mhm.
I was managing a construction
Shut
company.
up.
The
What is with
car.
that?
Which was also very toxic. Like to the degree of the assistant ended up stealing a bunch of money from the owner and then going to jail, like that level of toxic. So your grandma was like, "Here you go, let me make sure you know the alignment." Yeah, 6 of
It's
swords in reverse.
interesting that we both were in that, and I feel like that's also very, like, in the masculine field and still being in that masculine era, you know what I'm saying? And I just find that very, very interesting.
Right, we had to hit a brick wall to
Mm.
learn to balance it. Okay, so let's go in the area of construction. Talk about the process of seeing something through to the end, even when you planted seeds that didn't sprout, even if it wasn't your fault they didn't sprout.
Hmm, interesting. Actually been something really hard for me because I have raging ADHD, so finishing projects in general. Um, but honestly, it's gonna be kind of outside the question a little bit, but
It's
it
okay.
is because it's still continuing, but it's seeing this spiritual journey and work through, and how I've had so much doubts and roadblocks and am I on the right path? Am I crazy? Is this what I should be doing? It's so much doubt, but at the same time, because it is filled with so much remembrance and signs like this from my nana and it makes it's like I have a lot of self-doubt, but I don't have any doubt in spirit. So then I'm trying to kind of like bring myself back up there so we're in alignment with no doubts. But it's really seeing this through regardless of the obstacles, and being okay, falling in love with the process. And I was even journaling about that last night, is that I want to be grateful for my gift of time right now, which actually was just in an Alex Reed's tarot video that I watched. It just hit home, and just like I do have the gift of time to figure all of this out. Um, and seeing that through and not giving up or stopping with the obstacles or the judgment or the all of that we get on social media. I'm proud of that.
Yeah, you should be. Yeah. Do you feel like do you feel like spirit has you on some kind of invisible string where it's like you'll eventually get proof of this, but you need to go through this season of not knowing if and when it will ever come?
1000%. 1000%. And that's actually something my nanny used to always say, more so in the regards of like with mom, she talked about the invisible umbilical cord, all the time. Um, but yes, absolutely. I feel like I'm in a season of really building my trust and flowing.
Yeah. Magician in reverse, hanged man in reverse, and chariot. Yeah, you're flipping them upright.
Mm.
The cars keep going back and forth. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's almost like this energy of like as you take a step, you earn another level of trust. Take a step, earn
Mhm.
another level of trust. I wanna
Mhm.
pull hero or villain, interesting. Throat chakra. This gate cracked you open in a new way. You began to speak not to be understood, but to be real. You named what hurt. You said what you needed. You stopped making yourself smaller for the sake of peace. You let your truth be the bridge, even when it trembled beneath your feet. That's what turned back on this magic. You started to use your voice in that way.
Honestly, dude, the way that just read me to filth. Throat chakra has been the theme of my entire spiritual awakening, like the absolute number one theme. Period. That's yep. Yep, you got it.
Your grandma
Spirit.
coming in to confirm more stuff. She's like, "This is when."
She is strong, she is feisty, she comes yeah, she's a fun one.
Okay, so let's go in the direction of your inner child. Oh, the
Oh,
hermit.
yay.
The hermit.
Mm.
What is one way your inner child has healed since your grandma has been in spirit?
Mm. Well, she actually she sent me my daughter, um, and I it's that because I mean, not no one should ever have kids to heal their inner child, but it is a very lovely, um, a cherry on top, I guess, that comes with it that I had no idea it would do for me. Especially not growing up with a mother. I'm like, what the F am I doing? And I found out I had a daughter. I'm like, what do I do? I don't know how to be a girl, you know? And um, but she actually, and this is she never came to me in a dream, and that was it was before my spiritual awakening really, and I thought that I was like, what the heck? I mean, we were like she was I know it sounds weird, but like my soulmate in a sense. I know you'll understand that, but I know some people may not. So I wasn't in love with my nana, but I
Yeah.
was, you know what I'm saying? And so and I got so mad that she hadn't visited me in a dream. I'm like, how else am I supposed to talk to you? And a year and a half passes, and then she finally she
Take your time.
she shows up in a dream, and I don't see her face at first. I'm like handed this family tree. Um, and but I feel she had the softest hands in the entire world. They were just so soft. And I felt her hands as she gave me this tree, and I heard her voice. And I looked up and I saw her, and I was looking at this family tree, and I was like, who is that? Who's that girl? And she's like, that's your daughter. And this is before I was even pregnant. That's your daughter. She said her name was Juliana, but um, that's your daughter, Juliana. And then I woke up, and that like rocked me. It rocked me. I went to therapy for like the first time in ever, like a week later. Um, and then 3 weeks later, I found out that I was pregnant. Um, and then I don't know, a month later, we found out that it was a girl. And um, through that, through being the mother that I needed, you know, that's healed me in ways that I can't even begin to explain. So,
So I'm glad you're sitting down for this. So I'm adopted. My birth mother's name is Julie. And last week I got this necklace that I'm wearing. It's the family tree.
wow. I
I'll
am
I'll send
freaking
you a
out.
picture of the receipt from Target. I literally got it last week.
Oh my God.
I actually think I got it on the day that me and you were talking about setting up which day we were gonna do.
Wow.
I don't have any words
I have no words. I am just so I love spirit so much. I love I
even.
mean, can't
You can't make that up. That's
mm.
crazy.
But
Your
this is like
grandma's like, "I know how to fix this. I
literally
know how to get
perfect.
you in a position to heal."
She but I just like for the sake of like the viewers, and it's just before I realized signs and synchronicities like this, and just like if you were ever doubting, should I be doing this? Am I on the right path? And then things like this happen. I mean, I already knew that we're meant to be doing a podcast and like this is supposed to happen. It's a beautiful, you know, opportunity. But had I had doubts, something like that is just such a beautiful confirmation, stamp of approval, good job from your loved ones. I mean, so, and I have full body chills. And so, just for anyone else out there watching this, just pay attention to things like that because spirit is talking to us nonstop through these synchronicities. And I find that just so dang beautiful. So,
Yeah, in the beginning, I literally said, "Because you make it normal." And Spirit's like, "Watch this. I'm
mhm.
gonna do a play. Here's the cars, here's the necklace." Like,
Everything. Oh, it's beautiful.
task successful.
I love it.
I love it. Oh, look, a hand coming out of the clouds.
Look at that.
Oh my
Mm.
goodness.
Oh,
Hand coming out of the clouds, new beginning after pain. Okay, so planting roots, root chakra. If the root chakra and the throat chakra were holding hands, what would be different about that now versus before your awakening?
Mm. My throat chakra was non-existent before. She was not there, and my roots was not anchored. She was not safe. She was um I think, I mean, that gives me the root and the throat. It's this feeling safe, secure, in yourself to speak your truth. It's kind of like the bird and the branch again. It's giving me the sense of I feel safe. I'm sure about my truth, and my experience. And before I wasn't. I avoided a lot of the healing. I made excuses for why people hurt me. Um, and I also didn't understand the amount of pain that I carried that wasn't mine. And it's also okay to speak on that. I don't know, that's very multi-layered. Um,
Oh, no, that was a perfect response.
okay, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about this cup then. Spirit hands you an empty cup. How do you convince your inner child it's okay to let something stay in this cup and not just dump it out for others to earn your worth?
Honestly, I talk to her a lot. I tell her that we're safe. We're safe to receive this, that we're deserving of this. And I recently did like a very in-depth kind of meditation with her. I don't even know if it was meditation. It was I was talking to her, and it was in a way that I never have before. And it was along these lines of, because I've always felt like too much. I've always felt like in a burden. That's like the heaviest one for me, is feeling like a burden. My energy is a burden. My traumas, all these things, and having to stay all of it, all of it. And so I like grabbed her by the face, and which I this is something that I still do. I grab that little 5, 7 year old me by the face, and I tell her that um, I tell her that you are worthy of this, that it is okay to be excited, and it's okay to be sad, and it's okay to be both, and it's okay to express them how you want. It's okay to receive, it's okay to be successful, even if the people around you are still struggling, because you can help them when you help yourself. It is I really have to talk to her, because it is something that I continuously am trying to overcome. Um, and so I just have to tell her how it's okay. Like that's just it's okay. Period. Just
Right? Let's see what she wants to say back to you. Tell me when to stop.
oof. Stop.
Mhm. Okay, let's see if I can do this without crying.
Mm.
Not to become someone, let me start at the beginning of that paragraph. We come from the highest consciousness and we descend to learn. We make mistakes, we fail, we break. That's part of it. That's how we grow. Then, through choice and awareness, we rise. We begin to rebuild. We realign with love. We clear the old stories and return to ourselves. This is the journey. Not to become someone new, but to become fully yourself, the pure, unfiltered version of you that has always been waiting beneath the surface. The soul does not fear the dark parts of the movie. It knows those moments are necessary, not as punishment, not as proof of failure, but as places of turning. Chapters that test your character, break open your understanding, and rewire the way you love. That pain you felt, the loss, the betrayal, the numbness, was not the end. It was the portal. It was the teacher that cracked something open so that more of you could come through. I don't know what to say about that. I don't know what to say about
I have full body. I have like in
it. Would 20 or 21 be significant age-wise to your inner child?
It's ironic the number 21 comes up all the time. But yeah, I was just thinking about that version of me last night, ironically 2021, and how absolutely unhinged I was, and so not safe, and explosive and reactive, and deeply, truly in my pain was just the only thing acting, you know? Um, and that was a very hard that I have a lot of cringiness with that era of my life that I'm still trying to overcome, but I'm trying to rewire in the sense of it's a good thing you're not that anymore. Like we're meant to grow and evolve, you know? And had I not been in that era, still there's a lot of clients that I have that may still be in a very reactive state. And so now that I know what that feels like, it helps me help them. So, you know, it's all part of it. But my God, that's not a phase of life I enjoy looking back on.
Right. Do you feel like having your daughter was the portal into you truly like, "I need to heal this, I need to face this"?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah.
So I was pregnant with my son at 20, and I had him when I was 21.
Oh, wow.
The page numbers.
Oh, wow.
What is happening?
Well, and that's interesting because wait, is that right? Yeah, I my nana passed in 2020 and I was got pregnant in 2021. Oh,
She's very much directing this.
oh, she's the director. She 100% and I surrender to that. She knows best. Wow.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
Oh, blindfold coming off, an offer of love. Oh, I'm offering you love to heal what was broken. I'm
Mm.
showing you were always worthy of this much love, and the only way that you could ever see it is if you gave it to yourself first. There's no question there, that was just a statement.
Period. Okay. Next. Um,
Yeah,
uh,
I because I'm behind the wall now, I owed you that. I owed you that. I owed you
mm,
that. Did you see that? I owed you that. The Ace of Pentacles. It was, like, down a little bit, so I was like, "I'll take
uh-oh.
this." Okay.
Ooh.
Talk about what you okay. If your throat chakra was a bridge and the toll gates were closed, what was the key that reopened the toll gates?
Interesting. I just keep going back to feeling. I just keep seeing my heart chakra just like blowing like it because I this is our center, you know, and it all like we said in the beginning, it all goes back to feeling. And when you come back to the center and you start expanding and expanding and expanding, it's like I'm seeing like a padlock just like crack open with all the love that's here, you know. Love is the number one medicine and healer and communicator, and it's everything. It's everything. So that
My book that's back there, the page it's open to is chapter 8, The Locked Heart. Somewhere back in childhood, most of us lived through a moment that broke something inside. The locked heart, you literally just described the book that's back here that I know you can't see because you don't have bionic seeing.
no, I can barely see you, my guy.
There's no way you're reading that.
And number 8 is very, very, very significant to me, my daughter, my nana. And also, I was just listening to chapter 8 of a different audiobook this morning as well. So that's very ironic. Okay,
I love
love that.
it. I love it.
Mm.
Talk about when you aren't sure which action to take, just figuring out what the next best action is can be the solution.
Flow. Flow is always the solution. Surrender to spirit and flow. And I know sometimes that sounds in the beginning of my awakening, I'm like, what the F do you want me to surrender to? I'll do anything. I'm like message after message. Like you have to surrender. I'm like, to what? Let go of what? I will can you tell me? But sometimes because we have to remember our spirit guides, our team, they're also our teachers. Like they can't just give us everything, even though maybe they can. There are certain times where they don't because it is for our soul's evolution and growth, you know? And so learning to surround even like creatively this past week. I mean, I wanted to bash my head against the damn wall, and it was not flowing, nothing was happening. But it was interesting because the one week where I had so much creative block, to what I thought at least, um is the week where I had some of the clearest communication with my guides in a sense of self. Just for like an example, I there's this one video, and which has done better than any other video I've ever posted. And I'm only saying that because of the advice my guides gave me. I knew this message had to come out. And so I was like, you know what, F it, I'm gonna step away, I'm gonna go shower. And then I was looking at the lights and I'm like, why? Something about the lights here. And then I turned one off and like maybe the other one off, and they're like, turn them both off. And I'm like, no, thank you. And I did that. I'm like, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. And then clear as day, you'll understand why. And so I'm in there, and it is the most relaxing thing in the entire world. I don't know if I just, apparently it's a thing in the spiritual world, okay, to not shower with the lights on. I didn't know this, okay. And I did that, and it was just, I was a new effing person. And then I came back and I did the message, and it flowed out of me. It was smooth as butter, you know. And then it just, they showed me that physical validation of that really resonating with my collective. And it was just that proof of resetting your energy. Listen to the energy. All right, if you're meeting a roadblock, ask why, go reset, come back, and be and flow, surrender. Like my ego was just so like, no, I gotta get it now. No, you don't. Chill, go shower, go clean, and come back. And it was, there you go.
Right. It's like your guides can kinda help you on some of the tests, but they need to prepare you to take the final exam by yourself. So if
Mm-hmm.
they just give you all the answers when you get there, you're gonna fall on your face.
Exactly. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I love that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you didn't need to know the why of something, and because you didn't need to know the why, you were given the how.
That has been one of the biggest obstacles too, because I don't know if it's an Aquarius thing, if it's just a me thing, I don't know. But I need to understand, I need to know why, I need to know how, I need to know. But sometimes that's what I've been learning. It's just I can't have to just go through the flow and just experience, and I have to learn, what works for me and what doesn't. And yeah, so yeah, that was beautifully said.
Thank you. You as well. Teamwork. Teamwork and balance. Talk about that because you have a lot on your plate. Mom, wife, multiple jobs. How do you balance that?
um not as well as people may think that I do, honestly. But I here recently, with the kind of perspective edits I've given myself of I'm in no rush, Um, maybe if I didn't have multiple jobs and I was just doing my spirit work, then things would be a little bit different. But like right now, I'm not in any kind of rush, and I think that spirit is lining it up, orchestrating it this way for a reason. I mean, as they always do. But really my theme right now recently has been to surrender and to listen to energy, um and to flow with it and not against it. And even, I don't know why they're showing me that, but there's like this little poem type thing that I wrote a while back when I definitely was not in surrender. But about the wind and like spirit being the winds. And it's like I was trying to fight and go towards like this, this windstorm, like trying to walk into the tornado. And like if you were to just surrender for just 1 second, you would see that the wind is going to carry you exactly where you need to be. And there's something that has shifted in my mind, probably through certain times of me seeing like, like the shower and stuff, where it if I trust them, it does work out. And sometimes it's not right away, but sometimes it is. Um, I lost everything that was just in my brain. Did I
That was
lose it?
perfect.
Okay,
That
there
was
you go.
perfect. That was perfect. That was.
Oh, bless it. Mhm.
Talk about one thing that you used to view as a weakness that you now realize was almost like this little piece of a seed that would be developed into a gift, like a fruitful gift.
Mm. My my quirkiness, the like those random things that just come out of my mouth, the which has always been spirit. Just this. I don't know, it's hard to explain without I can't even, like, think of any examples, but it's just a sense of I used to be very, very I would talk without thinking, you know, always. That was just who I am, and sometimes it got me into trouble, sometimes it got me into people being very, very mean to me, you know what I'm saying? Um, but now it's like now, like, knowing that sometimes that is actually well, probably all the time, is well, okay, spirit, you know what I'm saying? You know, it's just I don't know, and this sense of honestly kind of my dark humor too, to be completely honest, because I used to get a lot of crap for it, and people thought that I was one way, but I'm like, I'm literally just trying to cope with all my trauma, my guy. But I feel like for my collective, and not everyone is this way, but for my collective, I feel like sometimes it really does help soften up, you know, so we can talk about things in a lighthearted way to at least get started talking about it, because that's the only way that we really get through things by not avoiding it anymore. And so bringing this lightheartedness, and some people view that as wrong or you know this is serious stuff you need to talk seriously about it, but I just I don't know, that was I was very insecure about that before, and I feel like now it kind of it helps, you know, within my healing and some others hopefully.
I definitely relate to that 100% with the dark humor. I view it as you're on one side of the closet door and your inner child's on the other side of the closet door, and to open this door, your inner child's gonna feel what you feel when you see your inner child, which is gonna be
Mhm,
this feeling of, like, grief, right? So
mhm,
I think that the dark humor is your current self saying to your inner child, like, "It's okay to come to the door. Like, it's gonna suck, but we're gonna handle it. Like,
mhm.
we'll do this
Ooh,
together." So I definitely get where you're coming from with that, 100%. If your throat chakra is a highway, what would the name be?
what the heck?
Or describe the scenery, either the name or the scenery. So, like, you're a ball of energy traveling down this highway, and that's how your throat chakra is getting the thoughts into verbalization.
Honest to God, all I'm picturing is Mario Kart right now,
Love that.
and
The
like
Rainbow Bridge?
yes, literally the Rainbow Bridge, that's literally it right there.
I love it.
You know, and sometimes you hit like the banana or something, you spin out a little bit, and sometimes you hit the mushroom and you go a lot faster, or you bigger, smaller, but it's that's exactly kind of I guess how I would view it, which I kind of like.
I like it too because it shows your inner child is like, "Oh, this is safe now."
Mhm. Mhm.
I love that. Oh, the lovers, okay.
Okay.
Oh, and victory. Okay. Talk about how now it's different for you than it was before, but now you view, like, a redirection as like, "Ooh, cool, what's coming next?" Instead of like, "Oh, man, I messed up."
Because I did have such a need to prove it complex, and this I kind of use this analogy about like in the lab, like how many things have been invented because of mistakes in the lab, you know? And so it's almost like now I have to frame it that way to get out of the perfectionism, to get out of the fact of just this I don't know where it came along, but the sense of if you mess up like you're a failure, it's just to make it more fun. And really, that's where the inner child comes in again, and just having fun with things. And if you mess up, if you're building, you know, your magnet tower, and you mess up, okay, you're gonna build it again. You know, maybe this time you're gonna build. I don't know. You know what I'm saying though.
Yeah.
It's just the sense of sometimes beautiful things happen out of like mistakes, or if you're doing a painting and you knock your coffee over and now you have like this masterpiece because it just created this thing, you know, it's just like it's it takes rewiring, and sometimes it's like this fake it till you make it, because sometimes I'm still like, why didn't you get that right, you know, like you messed that whatever it may be, but I gotta just like kind of talk myself and my inner child like through that and like, okay, well now it's going to be this or now it can be that, and imagine what it could be if that also it gets things almost mistakes makes you more creative, either how to have a creative solution, how to fix it, or it bridges that, and then you create that. I don't know. It's just, it can be a beautiful gateway into more, or it can stop you in your tracks. And it's really up to you what you want to do with that.
Yeah, that was really good. Yeah. It's all your choice what you wanna do with it, absolutely. I don't even have anything to add. Let's talk about, Adam and Eve and the fruit.
Wait.
Talk about something that once you learned it, it made you look at the entire world in a different perspective. Like, almost like, "Okay, I wasn't being compassionate enough towards myself about this, and I only know that now because I learned this."
You know what? Honestly, at first I was going to say before you added that last bit, just learning about spirit and energy, and how people project from, very hurt spaces. I mean, I see the world completely different after understanding energy and spirits and all the signs and secret. Like, it literally feels like magic every single day. Truly, it does. Um, it's wild. But then adding in that second part, honestly, what comes to mind is back to the mother wounds, because I truly, and like, honest to God, I didn't think that growing up as a child, and then, I mean, even went into an adult until I met my best friends now. I thought I was the only person that ever had a mother that just left them, that was raised by a single dad by choice, I guess, in a sense. I never saw that in movies besides um, Britney Spears and Crossroads. Great movie if you haven't seen it.
Mhm.
But there's a reason why I watch it like on repeat all the time, because it's the only time I've ever seen that happen. And I have a lot of insecurities about being a woman, and not having a mom. And then I meet my best friend, and she randomly tells me one Tuesday that, yeah, my mom left when I was 3. I'm like, my jaw's on the ground, and it's just like I met someone else that has gone through that pain, and it made me feel so like I wasn't as alone. And then, like, obviously I know other people do deal with that now, especially sharing my story and hearing other people's story, but it just shines on the power of sharing your story, um, and how literally just that, just being like, this happened to me, you can literally change somebody's life. So,
So, the 3rd dedication in my book
mm,
is to my best friend, and at the end of it, it says, "Go to page 177, part B." And on 177, part B, it's called "The Flashlight."
mm,
Sometimes part of your map stays dark for a reason, not because you are blind, but because your nervous system isn't ready to look. Certain memories carry weight your body was never meant to carry alone. Certain truths would crack you open too fast without the scaffolding of safety. This is not weakness, this is wisdom. When those moments come, when a gate stays shut or a hallway goes dim, God will often send someone in, not to drag you, not to fix you, but to stand beside you with a quiet flashlight, to show you that you are not the only one who can hold the pain, to remind you that love is not just something to earn. It is something that shields the hand, that steadies the hand when yours begins to shake. These people do not always stay, but their light lingers. And because they stood there with you, a part of the labyrinth you once feared begins to feel less foreign, less haunted, more like home. Sometimes the blueprint doesn't just unfold through self discovery. Sometimes it unfolds through love that refuses to flinch, through mirrors that stay clear even when you look away, through souls who say, I see it too, and I'll stay with you while you do.
trying so hard not to cry.
That's your friend for you. And you said number 3. That's number 3.
That's absolutely insane.
You needed that piece of your map to light up only when you had someone who could help you feel not alone.
Mhm.
Let's go in the direction of that friend then. Oh, the star in reverse.
That's literally like
Oh,
one of the
shut
cards.
up.
That's so
The star in
wow.
reverse, king of cups and temperance. What are those 3 cards? What would you say either to your friend or to speak on your friendship just to those 3 cards? Feeling lost, feeling hopeless, going from that to emotional mastery and balance.
I wouldn't be as healed as I am today if it weren't for her. I wouldn't love myself in the way that I do today if it wasn't for her. Um, she she truly she gives me a piece of my Nana. She loves me with the intensity and the safety that my Nana did. And not just because she's a medium, she talks to my Nana all the time. Um, but because that's who she is, that's just who she is. And truly our friendship has changed my entire life. Like I like myself today. I like myself and she has helped me be brave enough to put myself out there and to make me feel important when I didn't feel it.
Right.
And that changes people's lives. That kind of love will.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Mm.
I'm not even gonna add anything to that. That was and I'm sure being that she's a medium, she probably about fainted when she saw these were the 3 cards that came out. So if you're watching this with her, go ahead and pick her up.
She will be.
The Empress. Oh,
Oh my
wow.
goodness.
Empress, 4 of Pentacles, and Wheel of Fortune. Talk about how sometimes your divine inheritance will show up as experiences and connections and other things besides stability before it leads to that stability.
Interesting. The first thing that just flashed in my head was just like, I mean, this podcast, you know what I'm saying? And it's funny that you said inheritance because I literally, it's like I have a picture of my Nana right here and then my great Nana right there, both psychics and massively tied into this. And I always go like here, here, and then like here to kind of like bring him in and to me. Um, but I think that everything you're talking about experience, um, I might butcher your where you're trying to go with this, but what I'm being brought to right now is just how spirit uses our database, you know, like they use our experiences. They use our personal database. So the more that you go out and experience the world and go through obstacles and through fun times and new relationships and new opportunities and they use our database to communicate to us. And so the more experiences that you're having, you're putting yourself out there for or going out and grabbing, you know, it's like the deeper your connection and your communication and your personal language with spirit gets. So
Yep. And you know what? You just got another visual because you said here, here, and I bring it in.
mhm.
Here, here, and you bring it in.
Mm,
And these are
mm,
your guides. Yeah.
mm.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that. I love that.
What is something that you could say to the previous version of yourself before your awakening? Like almost not necessarily like advice, but more like a I could only have this perspective looking back now to tell you.
Hmm. Honestly, it's more so it's something here to do with the confidence because that's something I lacked so much in the beginning and before, just as a human being, you know, not even in the spiritual work, but obviously a lot in that as well. Just the confidence, um, in the sense of, and I keep like the remembrance of like this is just like who you are. Like we're in the process. You're about to go through the process of unlearning everything the world has taught you, and you're about to rebuild from the ground up. You know, and it's going to be a little bit of a bumpy ride, but you know, there's just something here about it's okay to let go. It's okay to let go and to embrace the new. Um, and also like this I feel called to talk about the speed at my development and how I feel like a lot of people's development really is because this is something I know I've done in previous lifetimes as or I'm sure you have as well, you know, and I've never gotten into anything and learned it so fast and just felt so natural in it because it's a part of who I am. That's why it's like I haven't been doing this for a long time and I don't know the meanings of the card as well as you do inside and out, you know, and so sometimes I'm very very insecure about how long I have been doing this for, but it's pushing back that, knowing my confidence and my soul, not just Brianna in this lifetime. It's like my soul has done this over and over and over again. That's a pep talk I have to give myself, you know? So it would be to just have confidence in your soul's journey as you go through this, and let it unfold as it may.
Yeah. I feel like that is very common, the confidence thing in the
Mhm.
spiritual community. It's almost like when you awaken, you're like, wait, where did this come from? Like,
Mhm.
why am I confident now? Do you feel like it has something to do with the lack of confidence that you felt before was because you were just in misalignment and you can't be confident about someone that you're not?
100%. I mean, I wasn't it's not that I was some kind of, fake disingenuine, but it's just like I wasn't connected to myself, and it's just like, how can you be confident in you if you're not in, like, it's just, you're not connected to you. You don't I didn't know parts of me. I didn't know all of me, and I've been relearning who I am, and it's hard to be confident about something that you don't know about, you know?
Right. Right.
So, yeah.
Right. Okay, we have 4 left. So we're left with one last one. Interesting. Okay. Talk about one way your communication with spirit has shifted since your grandmother has been in spirit.
I didn't talk to spirit before my nana passed. Not in that sense, not consciously. Um Although I grew up with this, I never understood it, and so it wasn't a part of my life like it is today. That she was the catalyst, to this for me. Um, so I guess that would be it. I didn't before, and now I do. I mean, I'll
It's
also answer that because I didn't before she passed, but I will say my other grandmother that passed after my awakening. Um, it's almost like understanding spirits and understanding how they communicate to you. Um, but it's a sense of my relationship with my nana was always rock solid. I mean, she was my rock, she's my everything. But somehow, some way, after she passed, our relationship has gotten even closer. I've understood parts of her that I didn't before understand. And same with my grandmother. I Our relationship has gotten stronger since not I know you know what I'm saying, but okay. And editing myself for context is something I'm trying to get over as well, the fear of being perceived. But it's just this sense of energy can't be, destroyed or created. It's always just here. So they are here around, and our relationship is still growing. It's still evolving. It's not in a physical form, but it's in a magical one, which is really freaking cool. So it just depends how you look at it.
that was the perfect answer, and I hope and pray that you can hear it in the background. But when you said that that your grandma was the entry to this, my son knocked on my door, like little
Mm,
light knocks. And then when you said it really didn't start till she left, my son closed the door real loud downstairs. So if you can hear that in the recording, I'm gonna turn it all the way up. I hope you can hear it. Pick a number 1 to 8.
7.
You can't always get what you want, and it's the anchor and the boat. Number 7, I need you to trust. And it's a number 8, and there's headphones on it. I need you to trust that your intuition is real and is stronger than you think.
Unreal. Unreal. Unreal.
3 of Cups
Mm.
is the last card. It's like your grandma, and your inner child are what keeps your crown chakra spinning to fluidity. Talk about, to close, what advice would you give anyone watching who has a mother wound? That's it. That's all I'm gonna say. What's the top advice that you would give?
For one, because it kind of depends. There's a lot of different versions of this, but of mother wounds in general. For one, their healing is not your responsibility. Um, Their healing is not your responsibility. And there's this like meme type thing that I saw a long time ago, and I don't remember the words exactly, but it just pierces my heart every single time. But something along the lines of, the mom speaking to the child, like, I'm not meant to wake up in this lifetime, but you are. And as much as it hurts, and you can see your friends or the people around you having those beautiful relationships with your mom, knowing that that's not necessarily that you have had or maybe ever will have. And I know that sounds so harsh. Um, one, things can always change, nothing is set in stone. But two, it's more so about, none of that was because of, it was never about you, it's always about her. It's never ever about you. It was always about her. Um, so, and it takes some time to really embody that and to trust that that's the truth. But over time, like, you will see that. You will see that. And I just keep getting this like love. Like, I know we've talked about it so many times, but ugh, I didn't think I was gonna like.
I'm right there with you. So you're good.
It's I guess that's it.
That was really good advice. That was really good. Yeah, that was really good. Do you have any final words?
I I'm sure, but no, not at the moment.
Okay, let's go and see. Some people spend their whole lives searching for answers. Brianna didn't just find answers, she remembered them. Not from a textbook, not from a guru, but from a voice she'd been carrying since childhood. The one that never stopped believing in magic. I'm not going to make it through this. The one that never stopped believing in magic. The one that knew spirit wasn't separate from her, it was her. This wasn't a conversation about being psychic. It was about listening to your body, to your past, to the child inside you who never stopped speaking, even when you did. If you've ever felt too weird, too sensitive, too tuned in to fit in, let this be a reminder that your sensitivity is not a flaw, it's a compass. That your connection to spirit isn't a gift, it's a birthright. And that remembering who you are isn't a return to something lost, it's a return to something true. Thank you, Brianna, for being here. And thank you to everyone for watching. This was Humans for Humanity, and we will see you again soon.